Welcome back, guys. Got a couple of things I want to kind of bring to your attention. Some of it you may already be aware of, but in case there's some of you watching that aren't, here we go. So on my inter-team radio and what we do, as I mentioned in one of the previous comms related videos, our radios are just for communicating amongst ourselves as a team. If we need to talk back to base camp, house, living area, whatever the case may be, depending on your situation and setup, we'll have a dedicated radio for that acts as like a team radio for RTO to dedicated use. But inter-team, meaning between team members, whether it's 2 people or 10 people, we don't need to necessarily talk all of us back to wherever home base is at. We need to talk amongst each other. We need to talk amongst each other in a fairly short distance. Again, we're talking armed prepared citizens in a complete catastrophic, grid down, without rule of law, world's gone stupid scenario, okay? We're not talking right now modern times, so there's your context for you. But doing security around our place, we want to be able to talk person to person, which honestly, you could limit that to a couple of 100 yards. Maybe, and this is going to be being generous on my part, maybe a half mile. But as a small unsupported team trying to defend and protect your area, homestead, in a rural area, subdivision, whatever, without support, logistics, etc., you do not want team members to be getting far apart. Because number one, you're already probably most likely going to be limited on manpower to begin with. You're probably only going to be sending out 2, maybe 4-man teams if you're really, really lucky. Probably 2 people if we're just being realistic and honest. Which, of course, and we can get into all this in another video, and we have in the past, means you're not going around looking for trouble. You're trying to stay hidden. You're trying to stay out of sight. You're just out there to gather information and see what's going on around you, kind of as an early warning. So talking to each other as a team, we don't want signal going everywhere. We want to keep that signal tight. I mentioned this once again in previous comms video. We don't need all the power. We don't need all the antenna. We want to keep that signal intentionally small so that people that are any distance away from us have a harder time or can't hear us at all. You don't want your people spreading out a long ways away from each other on foot, because if somebody gets into trouble, getting to them in a timely manner is probably going to be a challenge if we don't have the use of vehicles and that sort of thing. And even then, vehicles, even if you do still have them, bring in their own set of problems if you're trying to respond to something already happening where somebody that's part of your crew is already in trouble. So where am I getting at with all that? I know some of y'all don't like all the talking, but mentioned it before. On inter-team radios, I really like these little stubby antennas. That kills the signal. Yep, sure does. Quite nicely, in fact. Very clean and clear out to a certain point, and then it just kind of disappears. It's exactly what I want it to do. This particular antenna, shameless plug because it's a friend of mine, Brush Beater Store. You hear me mention it all the time. I'm going to continue mentioning it ad nauseum. Brush Beater Store, the little stubby antennas, they work marvelously. The only caveat is make sure you have the BNC adapter on there so that you can swap that on and off real easy. Now, some of you might be saying, well, if I am in a two-man team and one of us gets into trouble, what if I need to talk back to home base and that little stubby doesn't do it? See, that's where it comes in. Having the BNC connector on there makes it really simple. You can have a pre-made jungle antenna in your pack or a pre-made J-pole antenna in your pack that you just toss up in a tree limb real quick. And with BNC connectors on those other antennas, the BNC connector on here, you can take it off real quick, simply plug the other one in, do what you got to do to reach back further to base, whatever, and then you're back on short. Or, depending on your distance, you can simply take that off. If you keep a larger antenna in your pack, you plug that in real quick. Now I can reach back to base if I'm last man standing and everybody else is wiped out and oh my God, it's bad, and so on and so forth. But the BNC adapter allows you to do that. Also at the Brush Beater store. Short stubby antenna for the win. Two other things I wanted to bring to your attention, and these I just got and have already fallen in love with them. The first one, both of these are available from defensedistributors.com. I will put a link in the description box down below. First piece is this push-to-talk guard that goes on the side of the radio. It's just a simple lightweight polymer piece. It screws on in place of the pocket clip, which is perfectly fine and acceptable to me because my radios are always carried in a pouch to help protect them, which you should be doing. And by pouch, I mean something that's covering as much of the top of the radio and surrounding sides of the radio as possible. Not just a couple of strips of Velcro and some little skeletonized thing. Stick it in a real pouch, guys. Cover the thing up. Let the antenna poke out the side, so on and so forth. What this guard does, while it's in said pouch, is it helps prevent things from accidentally hitting your push-to-talk and keying up the radio while it's in your pouch if you lean up against something or it pushes into your other gear just right or what have you. It is a nice, simple little addition that gives good protection of that push-to-talk on the side. Now, I have seen guys do videos on other ones. There are multiple different ones like these out there that different places are selling. The other ones, I don't see why they wouldn't be just as good. I just got this one from Defense Distributors and I really like it, and I like them as a company from what I've seen, and I'll get into that in just a minute. The other thing that I got, and it's going to be kind of hard for you to see, is going to be, oh, will that focus? Come on, camera, work with me. I don't know if you can see it, but around the volume knob right there, there is a little O-ring. Defense Distributors sell these O-rings, and they are the perfect size. I'm sure you could get them elsewhere. I don't feel like spending the time to go and try to figure out exactly what size and what composition O-ring I need to accomplish this when they already have them, and you already know it's the right one for the job. You put that little O-ring around the volume knob, what that does is it puts friction on the knob and makes it much stiffer to turn without affecting anything else. Now, if you are doing like I recommend and running your radio inside your high-speed tactical weather protection device, that already helps keep the knob from getting accidentally turned and either turning your volume all the way off or all the way up. And, you know, if you're running an earbud setup, you know, blow your eardrums out, whatever, or so that you can't hear a thing. Adding this little O-ring along with the high-speed tactical weather protection device inside of a pouch all goes multiple lengths towards helping that volume knob and power knob to staying exactly where you set it at, which is a very, very handy thing. I like it. I'm going to get some for all the backup radios and for the family radios and for team member radios and all that because they're ridiculously stupidly low priced. We're trying to do the words and we haven't had a lot of this. Now we can make better of the doing of the words. Anyway, they're very cheap, put it that way. Should have just said that at the beginning, right? Goes a long way in covering that up. one of the other things I recommend you do, and I've still got to do it to this radio. I've got the stuff sitting over yonder that y'all can't see. On your Baofeng, and I should have prefaced this at the start of the video, this is specifically talking about the Baofeng radios. Defense Distributors does have these other guards for other radios as well. This is specifically for the UV5R, okay? There you go. That just completely caused me to lose my train of thought of what I was about to say. Oh, I remember now. Duh. See, I need more caffeine. Make sure you cover your light up on the top of the radio. I can't think of any situation where you could or would want to be using that light on the radio. Cover it up. Put a piece of tape over it. Freaking put some JB Weld epoxy over it. Something. But cover that light up, because the last thing you want is things getting hit and that light being turned on, even in a pouch, because the light can emanate out from underneath the flap of the pouch, and that's not a good thing when you don't want light emanating out. For the same reason, when you're not inside of a specific structure or building, and or a grid-up law enforcement officer or home defense situation in a grid-up environment, which would go back to being inside of a structure, you don't want lights on things. You want lights covered, off, removed, whatever. We'll get into that again in another video, which we've mentioned in the past anyway. So just a quick little couple of upgrades that you can do for your simple Baofeng radio that go a long way in helping make the radio just more functional and better, and it doesn't cost a lot of money. Okay, they're all relatively inexpensive parts and upgrades that adds a lot of function and capability to your situation. And yes, I know, don't even bother hitting the comment section with how crappy the radios are. I've heard it 1,000 times. I'm sorry if you've had bad luck with them. It doesn't negate all the people that have had good luck with them. So you do you, boo. If you don't want to use these, don't like using these, then use what you want. I don't need to hear what you like and what you want. Nobody else does either. Okay? If you want to tell everybody what you like and what you want to use, put a video up on it. Tell us about it. But not in my comment section. Do it in your comment section. So, simple radio upgrades. Now, Defense Distributors. I ordered these parts and they like shipped either same day or next day. It was really fast. They've got a good system on their website. It tells you if they've got items in stock or not. I like supporting other small businesses. As a small business owner myself, that is big for me. I'm very big on supporting other small businesses. I'm very big on getting things like just little inserts in the package that has a couple of good Bible verses on them. Now, for those of you that are not interested, that's fine. This is the end of the video for you, okay? If what I just said is not important to you, you don't care about it, you don't like it, whatever, rock on, okay? For those of you who are interested in it, the following is going to be for you. So if you don't want to hear the following, turn the video off now. Good? All right. That tells me something about this company. Now, if you go to my business website, you'll notice at the bottom of every page, there's a Bible verse at the bottom of every page of my website. It's there for a reason. Not only do I like supporting small businesses, but I also like doing business with and supporting small businesses who are also fellow Christian-based businesses. That gives me my cake and icing on top of it as well. I get to have both. I like that. These guys went a step further, and it is something that I have never thought about doing, and I wished I had. They actually enclose this with the order. camera focuses on that. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see that close. All right, it's just a little personal Bible with some specific verses in it. Nothing drawn out or in-depth, but that says something to me. Again, if it's not for you, it's not for you, but it says something to me, and I'm going to mention it and point it out so that those of you who are interested know about it. We need to support small businesses who are owned and run and staffed by people who think like we do, who believe like we do. I could do videos on how many businesses, large and small, that I have tried to reach out to partner with, coordinate with, help both ways, etc., and gotten completely shot down, turned down, ghosted, the whole 9 yards, because of A, the kind of stuff I talk about here. There's a lot of companies that like your money, but don't necessarily exactly like the kind of things we talk about here, nor why we talk about them. There's also companies who do not like doing things with a openly Christian-based business. Now, I have tried to never be preachy when it comes to my channel here or my business, but I also don't shy away from it and hide from it, and I'm very, very willing to be open about my belief and why things like this are important to me. So, that said, Defense Distributors, I will put a link in the description box. As always, really cool little O-rings that I don't have to try to figure out. You can already get it. They already got it figured out for you. And some really nice little guards right here. Little things that can step up your game and increase your ability to perform and perform successfully. And all of these little things individually might not mean a lot, but if you're familiar, especially those of you with any kind of engineering background, mechanical background, that sort of thing, you understand tolerance stacking. Well, this works the same way. All of these little things together start adding up and multiplying your capabilities and the odds of success and outcomes of which you want to have. Okay? Y'all check them out, show them some love, and keep training, keep practicing, keep getting ready. I'll talk to you in another one.